Welcome to another episode of Astro Auto Repairs. Can you dig it? Today we got a 2001 Ford Ranger. I'm going to show you how to change the rear shocks. Now it's very important to change the rear shocks because if your rear shocks are worn, it happens to mess up the tires. The tire starts coupling, little indentations on them where it's wearing weird because the tire is not firmly held to the road. So we're going to change those and we're going to get close to OEM as possible. We're going with the Monroe's Gasmatics OEM, and these shocks are actually specifically made for Fords. They're the closest to dealership as possible. Alright, first we're going to do is jack this vehicle up from the rear and set it up on jack stands. Let's get that done, and when we come back I'm going to show you how it's how to properly do this. Alright, we'll be right back. Okay, as you can see here, what I did was put the jack under the differential in the back, jack it up, then set your jack stands up under the lower parts of the frame, because the frame is lower right there than as it comes up, it goes higher. You want to set them up on the lower parts and then slowly let the jack back down. You can actually let it down to touch the ground, or like this tire over here is just about touching the ground. And now we're going to get to our bolts. First thing we're going to do is take off the bottom bolts. You can see here's the shock, and there's the other one over there. You can see it right there. That's the bottom part of it. And what we're going to do is take off these bottom bolts. And what they are is the bolt itself is a 15 and the nut is an 18. So you can see I got my tools down here, and I got me an air ratchet. So what I'm going to do, whoops, let's get this over here, 15, and instead of getting a wrench, I just got the sockets, and I'm just going to adjust adjustable, because you really don't have to hold it that much. Perfect. Alright, let's get us some air going on, and hopefully we can take these bolts out. So let's get those bolts out. Let me see if I can set the camera up in a position where we can, so you can see this. We'll be right back. Okay, let's say we can set the camera up right about here. Probably the closest we're going to get. Over there. The other bolt. Yeah, don't mind me with the camera. I ain't too lazy. Let's see what's set up. Okay, next we're going to do is at the top, of these shocks. There's a nut up there. I'm trying to get a better angle at this. And I'll show you what size it is. We'll get the air ratchet and take them out. We'll be right back. Okay, we're on the driver's side. Here's the shock. There's the upper bolt. They're 18mm nuts. There's no bolt on the other end, so you don't have to worry about it. So let's get a shallow 18mm, and I'll buzz that off. Then we'll go to the other side. Let's see if I get a good angle of it right there. You can see the bolt right over there somewhere. There it is. 18mm on that side. Alright, so let's get those bolts off. First, let's come over this side. And we're going to get the socket and we're going to get that off. Okay? We'll be right back. Alright, I'm going to attempt to do this with one hand. Got the air ratchet hooked up. Okay, I got that off. Now this shock, that's all we got to do is pull the shock out of this housing right here, like that. And the top should slide off. If it don't, you get your pry bar or something and slide that off. Yeah, it's going to give us a hard time. So we're going to get a pry bar. We're going to put the pry bar between the frame and the shock and just work itself out like that. Alright, let's do that, and at the same time, once you go over there and take off that other 18mm nut and pop that shock off. Okay, we'll be right back. Alright, I'm over at the right side. Let's get this. It's a lot easier with air tools. I mean, you can do it with hand tools. I just find it a lot easier with air tools. You can see it's coming off, but I got a lot of dust on it. Let me go clean that screen off and pop those off. Alright, we're ready to install the new shocks, and what we got is Monroe's sensor tracks reflex. These shocks are specifically for the Fords and close to OEM as possible, and actually the Monroe's considered better than OEM. Now, let's take one of the old shocks. Now, shocks have a lot of tension on them, so I should not be able to do what I'm doing right now. And then you can see the return on them. Hardly there's a return on it. Sometimes it sticks. But doesn't hurt. Now, on the new ones, you see, now one hand I can't push that down. I have to actually put some weight on it to get that shock down. Then, as you can see, the return is a lot quicker. So let's get these shocks in. And what we're going to do is install the top of it first, let it hang down, bolt it up, and then we're going to have to probably push up on the bottom of the shock to install it to the carrier on the rear. Alright, let's get them up there and I'll show you how it's done. Okay, let's take one of the shocks. Go up under here. That's where it's going. Let's get this one. And then you see the bigger end of the shock is going to go to the top. I'm just going to put it up on there. You got to probably work your way on to put it on. Let's do that one and get the other one, because it's best to do this with 2 hands. Okay. All right, let's squeeze that on and we'll be right back. All right, we got both shocks just hanging up there. We don't have the nuts on them yet. But what I want to do is show you now is now we got to put this shock in the bottom of here. And you see how off it is? So what you got to do is push up on the shock, compress it, and then when it gets to a certain point, put the bolt through it. All right? Show you how this. We got the bolt right here. Doesn't matter which way you put the bolt. That's your preference. Okay, now watch how this is done. There you go. Put that on. Gonna tighten it up. And then we'll go to the other side and put that one on. Alright, let's go over. Let's see if we can go over here. Okay. Let's go over there and tighten that one and put that one on. Looks like our camera fell here. Okay. While we're on this side, we're going to put this nut on the top. Let's tighten these up. We're going to tighten up the top, 18 millimeter, 15, and then 18 with a wrench. Tighten up both sides. Alright, let's tighten up that top one. You want to make sure this thing is tight. And there we have it. Let's slide our tools from over into here. We're going to jack the vehicle back up by the rear end and take the jack stands out. Alright, let's get that done and we'll be right back to close out the video. Okay, there you have it. Brand new rear shocks on a 2001 Ford Ranger. Again, worn shocks can mess up your front end parts real quick, and they can mess up your tires. So join me for some other videos on this vehicle, because we're going to be doing the front shocks, ignition wires to remedy a misfire, breaking down, and stabilizer links. This is Timmy from Astro Auto Repairs. We can't repair it, nobody can.